Nobody likes a last-minute heads up, especially if it's concerning one of your employees who's about to leave on vacation for a month starting tomorrow. So that's why we decide to do something about it, introducing our latest add-on, the leave request notice period. With it, you can ensure that common courtesy isn't left to chance by requiring longer leave requests to be submitted ahead of time, thus giving managers more time to plan accordingly, because a little notice can go a long way. Hey, it's David from Vacation Tracker here, and in this product tutorial, we're going to be taking a closer look at one of our add-ons, the leave request notice period. It's important to note that this particular add-on is actually free for all users regardless of the plan you're on. So if you're on Core, Complete, or even just starting a free trial for the very first time, you will have access to this add-on at no additional charge. You'll just need to ensure that it is activated before you start using it. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Why don't we start with step 1, which is always to log in to the Vacation Tracker account. Once you've logged in, you're then going to navigate to the left-hand menu and click on add-ons. On this page, you'll notice that there are 2 tabs, My Add-ons and Discover More Add-ons. My Add-ons, as the name implies, will contain cards for every add-on that you've purchased and are subscribed to, versus Discover More Add-ons, which contains all the available add-ons that we have developed, including a few that are still in the pipeline, as you can see here. So do be sure to check back every so often to see what's new. If ever there's an add-on you'd like to suggest, or even a feature that you feel is missing, by all means, we encourage you to give us your feedback by clicking on the Request an Add-on button here and then filling out this form. Since I'm using a demo account, my add-on for the leave request notice period has already been activated, but in your case, what you're going to do is head back over to that Discover More Add-ons tab, find the card that says leave request notice period, and instead of review and buy, it'll say activate. Once you confirm the activation, it should appear here in the My Add-ons tab, and then you can click on View to get started. Now, the name itself should have been a dead giveaway, but at this point, if you're still unclear what the leave request notice period does, let me break it down for you. Essentially, this add-on allows you to implement and automate a policy in which employees are required to provide advance notice for longer amounts of leave. So as an example, let's say an employee wants to take 1 month of vacation, you would require 3 months of advance notice. That way you can plan around their absence. But why don't we see what this looks like in action by creating our first policy together. And to do so, we just need to click on the Create Policy button. The first thing you need to decide on is a name for your policy. I suggest going with something descriptive, that way you can easily recognize it in the system should you need to go back and make changes. Especially if you start to create multiple policies, it'll be easier to distinguish one from another. In my case, since I only have one policy and this is just a demo, I'm going to use something generic like long-term leave. Next, we decide on the 2 pieces of critical information for this policy: how much leave and how much notice. Sticking to that original example I gave earlier, I'm going to use 20 working days, which is 1 month, must be requested 90 days in advance, which is 3 months. This next section is the auto reject response. This is the message that appears when an employee submits a request but fails to meet the requirements. So in my case, if they submit a leave request of 20 days or longer, but it's less than 90 days, they will see this message. As you can tell, this is a completely customizable form, and I suggest you do that just so it matches the tone and voice of your organization. The next section is about application and who does this get applied to. By default, it'll apply to all users, but if you want to create separate policies either by location or maybe by department or even by special projects using the labeling system we have, you can do so right here and select what you would like. In my case, I'm going to leave the default just because it'll make things easier for this example. And now we have the leave types. So which leave types will be affected by this policy? By default, once again, everything is checked off, but as you can tell, not all of these leave types are relevant. In this case, I'm going to uncheck volunteer work and work from home so that only paid time off and vacation, which traditionally are the ones where people request more time off, will be affected. In your case, do be sure to select the right leave types that you want, or you can leave the default and have everything affected by it. Before I click on save, I did want to bring your attention to this summary section right here in purple. This is just a good way to confirm all the selections you've made so far. So in my case, it says leave requests are longer than 20 days must be submitted at least 90 days in advance for the leave types of paid time off and vacation. Since I'm happy with that, I'm going to click on save, and now the system creates the policy and automatically implements it. And if ever I need to turn it off, I can just hit the toggle switch right here and disable this particular policy or bring it back on when I need it. So now when your employees request time off and that request is for a long period of time, but it is also at the last minute, once they submit their request, it will be rejected and a pop-up will appear with leave request notice period along with the message we had written. In my case, it's just the default message and lets them know that it does not comply with the current leave policies. And now extended vacations means extended notice for your managers. Thanks again for watching this video. If you found it helpful, let us know by either giving us a thumbs up or by subscribing to the channel. And if you have any questions or feedback, you can leave it right down below and we will respond as soon as possible. In addition to this YouTube channel, we also have a help desk center where we have written tons of articles on how to use Vacation Tracker and its various features. So if you prefer learning that way, do be sure to check that out. And as always, if you have a question that can't be answered by a video or by an article, you can always reach out to our incredible support team who is always willing to lend a hand. That's going to be all for this video. Happy vacationing!